welcome back for another episode of WAP. Wealth, assets, and prosperity for your life and your business. Now, do I have something special for you guys here today? I'm so excited because I am bringing to you my girl, somebody that I have been really close to. She is literally my business bestie, and we have been friends for a very long time. And I say a very long time, it's kind of funny, but we met in 2020. It's 2023, y'all. 3 years. I mean, really, to meet somebody online and then become business besties is such a big deal. So I cannot wait for you guys to hear her, talk to her, listen to her, all the good jazz. So let me introduce my girl, Heather Byrd. She is not just an international award-winning poet and esteemed writing coach. She is a catalyst of voice, story, and badassery. I know that's right. I'm like, I can't even get my life together. I was like, I like that badassery word. As the CEO of Bird's World, she's on a divine mission to guide 1,000 women of color in utilizing their voices and crafting books to transform lives one story at a time. As a giver of giggles and hugs, that's actually a very true statement. Her testimonials reveal her impact. With Bird's guidance, I've shifted from daydreaming about writing to action. She's a grateful participant. At the same time, another adds, Bird provides the community I didn't even know I needed. If I were to even tell you my girl is really that bomb. Bird is the queen of quirky and the author of Mahogany, A Love Story to Black. She has been recognized for her editorial curation and contributions to diversity, equity, and inclusion, earning her accolades alongside industry giants like Google, HBO, Max, BBC, National Geographic, and The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. I love Trevor Noah. In a world that needs amplification for the voices of women of color, Bird ensures each person is heard, celebrated, and seen. She defies gravity and language, spreading wings and dreams as she creates a literary world she always dreamed could exist through empowering story writing. She is the high priestess of hummingbirds, a lover of tacos and tea. Yes! Her favorite words are balloon and bubble. Dive deep into Bird's world, a universe where voice and stories transcend boundaries. Ah! I cannot wait for y'all to meet my girl, Heather Byrd.
Yo, I just want to put you in my pocket and have you always introduce me. Like,
what was that? That was the best bio literally ever. Like, obsessed.
Thank you so much. I
That
had way too
word
much
play?
fun.
I'm telling you, my tongue was just rolling with it. Like, wait a
You're like,
minute.
let's
Like,
go.
I want to go back. I'm like, there's this one wordplay that I was like, what? That was amazing. Oh, spreading wings and dreams. As she creates a literary world she dreams always could exist. Wow.
Yeah.
Man. So,
Yeah.
Heather, have you always been a writer?
I have always been a writer at some point. So I'm so glad you asked me that. So I actually wrote my first book when I was 6 years old. You wanna see it? You wanna see
Yes.
it?
Yes, please. Ah,
Look at my stick figure.
why is that so good?
This was my first book, y'all. It's called My Body Parts. As you can see, I won a little award for it too. When I was 6, we had this young authors program, and I really got excited about just diving deeper into writing a book. Like I even I typed it was on the typewriter. You can see little old me too. Hold on.
Oh my gosh.
That's little old me.
Adorable. Why is that so cute?
And yeah, we just had fun with it. Oh, this one is with paint that I did. But we just had fun with it, right? That's my actual foot size at
I think me too.
so such a big foot for no reason. But I like I remember doing this. Like I remember having so much fun. I remember trying to make the paint for brown skin. Because there wasn't any brown paint. So my mom and I had to like pull these combinations together to find the right shade of brown, which I'm just not having the realization that that's something that I had to do. Like I had to create a shade for myself that wasn't already provided, but I had fun with it as a kid. And so I've been writing since I was little. I used to tell my grandmother I was bored, and she was like, "No, you're not. Go read a book." Like I was trying to go outside, and she told me to go read a book. So yeah, I've been writing for a while, and then got into poetry in seventh grade. I hated it before then, but then started writing poetry in seventh grade, and you haven't been able to stop me since.
I love that.
Yeah.
First of all, to know your passion so young
Yeah.
is just outstanding. I mean, that book is adorable. And then for a moment, like, can we talk a little bit about this having to create your own color?
Yo, I'm just now remembering that part of the story. Like I remember mixing all of these different colors and trying to find the right shade because they only gave us primary colors. We only had primary colors, and brown wasn't one of them. And so we were like, well, what makes brown? And back then you couldn't Google what makes brown. Like you just kind of had to figure it out. And it wasn't just a brown, because some of the colors came out wrong. It was like too dark and too gray and too black. Like it just
They
wasn't
start
right.
and weirdness.
So that extra work that even went into making sure that my story was authentic. I could have easily created a character that didn't look like me. Now, granted, I don't know if this looked likely, maybe the hair, I don't know, but like I'm not an illustrator, but grant this is color pencil, but this actual paint we had to make.
Yes.
We had to pull the colors to okay, maybe I'm not gonna lie, these two figures actually kind of look alike. Not gonna lie, not gonna lie, no. But yeah, I remember doing this. And that's just deeper. That's deeper. Making sure you're creating a world that looks like you, that reflects who you are, is my goodness, my whole mission and one of my values within Bird's World. And I was doing it when I was 6.
Wow.
I'm just now having this moment of like, oh my goodness.
It
Yeah,
started then.
real time.
Yes.
This with me.
I'm obsessed. I am absolutely obsessed. And so, from writing this amazing book that literally started Bird's World, because that is where it began, where did you go from there? Because I know that, you definitely have written a few things. I know a lot about you, but I'm just questioning, like, where did you go from there? How did you start to find that voice of yours?
Yeah, it was through my exploration of poetry. So, always enjoyed writing, always enjoyed reading. I loved going from class in the classroom doing read along days and like reading books. I got all into the characters and I got really good at reading upside down. Like that was an accomplishment for me. Like I thought it was like a real talent. It might still be, I don't know. But like to read upside down so that the folks that I was reading to could see the photos. It used to drive me crazy when the teacher, and I don't blame them, right? But the teacher would like hold the book off to the side and like you couldn't really see their face, and then they had to turn the book, and it just messed with the experience. I was like, how can I learn how to read upside down? So I used to do that even when I was like in grammar school. And then it evolved to in 7th grade. I had an assignment where I had to write poetry. And before then, I did not relate to poetry at all. I thought it had to rhyme. To be honest, it was material that I just didn't connect with as a Black girl. And it was mostly old white men. And no diss to Shakespeare, because as I got older, I'm like, yo, Shakespeare's brain worked like that. That's you're kind of a genius. But as a kid, I didn't know what he was talking about. And so something happened, and I cannot tell you what the recipe was, but I remember I did uh, a project on Amelia Earhart. Oh my goodness, flying. Y'all, I'm having so many revelations right now. And I something clicked where I just started writing in rhythm.
Ooh.
I just started writing in rhythm, and I could not stop. Like we ended the lesson, and I remember we had to go to expository writing, and my teachers were like, "You can stop now," and I'm like, I can't. I don't know how. And so I just started to lean into that more. So that then led to me writing poems for my 8th grade graduation, and which then led to me leading open mics and working on the literary magazine in high school, which then led me to creating a slam poetry group in college, which then led me to leading workshops. it just started to expand in ways that I just listened to myself and
Yes.
did, even though other people told me I couldn't do it. Like when they found out that my major was performance art, people are like, "What you gonna do with that?" And I'm like, "Just wait,
A lot of stuff.
you'll
A
see."
lot of stuff. I love it. And, this experience that you were having, like you grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, right?
So I went to a predominantly white institution for college. I actually I grew up in a black neighborhood, but I went to a predominantly Latinx Hispanic grammar school. So
Yeah.
from K to 8 was in that community, and then went to an all black high school, mostly black high school, and then went to a mostly white college. So I moved around a lot.
Yes. A lot of different cultures.
A lot of different communities. Yeah.
Yes. And so finding your voice, how important was it to you to find your voice in all these different communities?
It wasn't until I went to college that I realized the importance of it on a different level. Like I always knew voicing what you thought and like bringing that to the forefront was important.
Yeah.
But before college, I had people who listened. When I got to college, that was the first time that my existence was challenged. And I had to find new language. I had to find new people to really understand why people didn't understand me or had preconceived notions of me or biases that that the media was putting on them.
Yes.
And so it wasn't until that started to be challenged that I realized the power of my voice and how people are actually shut down and told to be quiet and stay invisible and not use their voice, and then eventually get lost in who they are and what they stand for because of them trying to protect themselves.
Yes.
And so there was just a different lens that I had going to college that was different from when I was in high school and when I was in grammar school, that just really allowed Bird's World to explode in a way. Like I remember sitting in my mentor's office and us dreaming what Bird's World could look like, and the importance of it. And I remember the shade of orange that the couches were going to be. And at the time, Love Jones was like really popular, and so we were going to have open mics, and like the cash register was cha-chinging in the background. Like I remember all of those things, and now I'm in the space where 18 years later, I am making that dream come true, and have been making that dream come true before then, but it's solidified. It's here now. So it's super
exciting. Oh, I love that. I love that. And I love your story about like your voice. And so that brings me to Mahogany, A Love Letter to Black. Queen, when did that come about? When did you publish Mahogany?
Yeah, so I published Mahogany, A Love Letter to Black in February of 2016. I always wanted to publish a book and just didn't really know how to go about the process of doing that. And so I really just focused on the writing, and then was like, I will figure out the management and the process, the project management behind publishing a book once I kind of get these poems together. And shout out to my girl Mallory Raven Ellen Backstrom Niemer. Let that name take up all the space in your brain, because we need to take space as Black women. She actually published a book before I did, and when I told her what I wanted to do, she walked me through the process step by step by step. And really helped me once I had the poems together, once I was able to arrange them, once I had a vision for what I really wanted to do. She walked me through that process of how I could have agency over my own work through self-publishing. That just opened so many doors for me. I'm forever grateful for that woman. She is my heart, my sister. But she allowed me to make my dream come true and helped me through that process.
I love that. What was her name again? That was a nice long name.
Mallory Raven Ellen Backstrom Niemer, because she married now.
All right.
But feel free to check her work out. She is an amazing writer and artist and is dedicated to providing fairy tales for sun-kissed women.
I love that. All right. We hear you, girl. So the fact that led you to publish The
Mhm.
Beautiful Mahogany, A Love Letter to Black. And then what got you started with Bird's World? After you published your book, were you like, we need more of my friends out here doing this, or we need more people like her out here doing this? What
Yeah.
got you to start Bird's World?
Oh my goodness. So Bird's World has existed in varying iterations since 2005.
Yeah.
We've gone through just doing workshops, writing workshops, to doing workshops and performances, to figuring out ways to amplify voices and really give people spaces to tell their stories. And for a long time, that's where I stopped. I stopped at just helping people write the first draft of their book. And you were with me when this happened, when that expansion took place, right? So Jacqui and I are part of this really beautiful community, Traffic Sales and Profit. And
Yeah.
we were at a conference. This was TSP Live.
Okay, it was live.
It was live because it was in June. And originally, Bird's World was going to be this all servicing business, anything to do with the literary world. And at one point, I just scaled back because I felt like I had to be everything in my business. And so I felt like I had to go back to school to learn how to edit. I had to go back to school and to get my MFA. I had to go back to school and learn more of the business side of a master's degree that I already have. Like, I feel like I had to have more. And so I'm getting chills talking about this again. And so my plan was to only focus on the writing piece of it and then build connections with other businesses. And so while we're at this conference, I, am introducing myself to people, letting them know about the partnerships that I want to build. And here's the beauty about being a part of this community, right?
Yes.
We are here to see each other win.
Yes.
And while I was in that room, I promise you, 2 different people told me the same thing.
Yes.
They looked me dead in my eye and said, I will take your people and your money if you want me to, but you need to be building this on your own. And everything in me, I don't know if you've ever received a message that you felt through your entire body. Everything around me stopped when I heard that message. And so I was it stopped because I was reminded of what I originally envisioned.
Yes.
And then I was able to get a clearer vision of how I can make it happen through hiring, through building my team, through all of these different things. And so definitely want to shout out Chanel Martin and Crystal Swain Bates for sitting me down and being like, you could do this on your own, right? You can actually make this happen, make your dream come true. So as of June 2022 is when I was revisiting my original intent for Bird's World. And now I can proudly say that we are now Bird's World and Bird's World Publishing, and having a publishing agency where we are focused on women of color's voices, and getting those voices out into the world is something that just, you can see it, like my cheeks, they rise. Like, much joy.
Yes. I absolutely love that. And she's absolutely right, you guys. I was there for all of the nuances and the comings of Bird's World. And I just love how you have progressed, how you have elevated. Like, I really, really do. And so right now, I want you to express to everyone, what is the importance of them telling their story? And especially when it comes to, telling your story is bigger than the financial gain of it all, but especially when it comes to just the residual income you can make. Why do people need to tell their story?
Yeah, you and I have had this conversation, and you helped me to summarize this in a really, really beautiful way, right? So there are 3 different ways in which your story can be told. 1, a stranger could tell your story who does not know you at all and is just doing research, gathering information, and hopefully does you justice, right? The second person that could tell your story is a family member or a friend who has more of an idea of who you are as a person, but can only do so much in telling your story, right? And then the third person is you. You are the only person that can actually tell your story the way it needs to be told. You are the only person that knows all of the details. You are the only person that can take people on an emotional journey to where you were and where you are now and the things that you had to go through to do it. The stranger and the family member or friend might have good intentions of telling your story.
Mm-hmm.
The flip side of that is they might not have the best intentions.
Mm-mm.
So you're having someone who is telling your story and telling your story wrong, right?
Yes.
We always read the stories of the victors, the
Yeah.
folks who won. We don't hear about the stories of folks who were conquered, who were marginalized, who were, insert word here.
Right.
Right? We don't hear of those stories. And the people who tell their stories, they're always the hero in their own story.
Yeah.
You need to be the hero in your story. And the only way that can be told is if you tell it.
Come on, come through. Absolutely.
I
Because when
mean,
you think about it, and people are reading in the history books, I mean, and you probably like, well, I wish my name was in the history books, and make your own book
make your own book.
and make history.
Mhm.
Okay.
But
I
these folding chairs are coming up in conversation, right? People brought their own chairs instead of trying to find your seat at the table. What is that? Shirley Chisholm that said that, right? Instead of
yes.
finding a seat at the table, bring a folding chair.
Oh,
Instead of
all
waiting for
right.
somebody else to write your book, pick up a pen and write it yourself.
That is so true. Pick up a pen and write it yourself because ain't nobody going to tell your story like you. And
Mhm.
even if it's not you telling your story, right? I loved how because we're going to talk a little bit about some of the people, the opportunity. I can't even my words right to get. The opportunity that you have for people to come and write with you, but even people do poetry.
Yeah.
People even do poetry in their books. You may even have recipes from your great, 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 great grandmother, and you the only one with the recipe in here.
Mhm.
Share it.
Yeah. And
Because
even
let's
with
be real.
poetry, though, you're sharing your story through poetry. No one can put words together the way that you put words together. You might see the same thing. Jacqui and I could literally be staring at the same statue, but seeing two different things. Our
Yes.
life experiences shape the way that we see things.
Yes.
Your great 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 grandmother's peach cobbler, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna have that little pizzazz that mine is not.
Let's have an honesty moment.
It might be cinnamon, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna have a
Well,
little
okay.
pizzazz,
Yes.
that the other person is not going to have. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, I don't have a story to be told, let me just hug you now and tell you, I see you. Yes, you do have a story to be told. Well, my story has already been told. Your story has not been told the way that you would tell it. Your story has not been told with your lenses. This particular story has not been told with your lens. So whether it is poetry, whether it is just journaling, like you're literally sharing your knowledge, your expertise, your insight,
Yeah.
your world with other people.
1000%. I'm like literally just like, I love it. And so once you put that story out there, once you're published, how does the money come in? Like, how, because I've been chilling and been ding. Oh my gosh, what is this? Oh, KDP's paying me. Oh,
Yeah.
how would you say that authors really enjoy, like as a business owner? Because, like I said, this is WAP, wealth, assets, and prosperity for your life and your business, right? And so, when it comes to your business, because, like, for life, yeah, get the story out, get your story out. But when it comes to business, how can business owners leverage their book?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's all about the technique in which you use to write your book. So you want to be able to fuse your story with your expertise, with your methods, with whatever it is that you're sharing, whether it's a step by step, however you want to structure your book, right? And we can always talk about what that looks like. But once that book is out into the world, yes, you'll be able to gain royalties from the book, but that's really not going to be the thing that's going to drive your business into the place that you really want it to be. Your book is serving as a lead magnet. It's
Mhm.
serving as a way for people to get to know you and trust you and understand that you are the expert in whatever field that you are in. I can easily offer something to someone, and if they've never heard about my story, if they never saw my first book, right? If they never understood some of the things that I had to go through in order to make it happen, like to go from this book to Mahogany and Love Letter to Black to an international award-winning issue of a magazine, that is a story.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then the two books, hold on, how my finger. There we go. You got Hope Ignited and you have Trouble the Waters in the background. You got my award. Like, people need to know how I got there.
Yes.
Understanding that I wasn't always at this place, that there were spaces in which I was terrified. Even when I was doing this is the most recent, right? Which means I went through all of these other experiences. I was terrified.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure that people were going to read what I had to write. I wasn't sure that with me talking about diversity, equity, inclusion topics at a predominantly white institution was going to be received well. I was worried about my safety. I was worried. Like, there were so many different things. It's terrifying to be the first of anything.
Yes.
Right? And so knowing that that is the case, sharing that with others, then gives them the permission to say, oh, I feel the same way. Byrd can help me.
Yes.
This community can help me. And that's exactly what your book can do. Your expertise came from somewhere. You got to this point in your life through whatever trials, tribulations, and joys you had a chance to experience. When people are included into your story, they feel more connected to you. They trust you more and will hire you.
Yes.
Based on that trust. So your book will allow you to build more connections with your clients and be able to bring them in to your business in a way that is thoughtful, in a way that gives clients the opportunity to know who you are on a deeper level before they even start working with you, which then brings in the bucks and the business that you need to make your dreams come true. So
let's go. I love that. And it's so true. It's so true, you know, and you can always reference your book. Let's say you're speaking, you can always be selling it in the back of the room. Like, it is so true how this is more than just the passive income. It's leverage.
Yeah, it's leverage. Absolutely.
I love that. So the people, they write in the books. Well, before we even go forward, we are here, KCCR Radio, Brownstone, worldwide, with my girl, Heather Byrd. She is phenomenal. She is dropping all the gems about writing your book. But I got questions, though. So for people who are like, but I'm too busy, Heather, I ain't got no time to be writing no good and God dog book. I barely have time to get my little face together in the morning. So I'm supposed to be writing a book. What would you say to somebody like that?
That is one of the top 3 reasons that I receive from others as to why they can't write their books. And just like you make time for everything else in your life, making time for something that's going to have an impact, not only when you are here, but when you are gone from this earth, is going to be something that needs to be able to push you forward in this process. My answer to no time is creating community. Yes. We have a tendency to show up and create the time for other people, but we will not make the time for ourselves. Point blank, period. If you are going to the gym and it's just you, you're not showing up on some days unless you got real good discipline. But if you know that you have an accountability partner that you're supposed to be meeting somewhere, I know that was my case. I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go meet my accountability partner at 6 in the morning to go work out. I am not a morning person. Let's just, no. Jacqui, see me in the morning. I'm words. What are those?
No,
right?
You got them wrong.
Yeah, let me know, right? So, but because I knew that my best friend was waiting for me at the gym, that made me get up and brush my teeth and put on my clothes and head to the gym that was 15 minutes away. Like, it made me want to do those things. So by saying you don't have time, being in community pushes you in a way that doesn't normally push you. And so my answer to that is being able to have a morning writing space where people can come together and write for 30 minutes in the morning to help set your day up in a way that is beyond beautiful. We've had folks go through this program where they have written towards their book for 30 minutes for 5 days a week and have gotten their book done like this. We also have people who come in the space and literally write to clear their mind so that they have the space to write their book in the afternoon. Time is there. Like I said, I'm not a morning person, and we meet at 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time until 7, and then we build community from like 7 to 7:30, help work through challenges and things of that nature. But that literally sets up my day, and we've been doing it for 8 months.
Yes, I love that. And I love how you said writing in community. Do you find that people, because like you're saying, I can go to the gym, work out by myself, but if I got somebody going with me, I feel more like, let me make this happen. Do you find that a lot more people are getting a lot more done in this community in the morning?
Absolutely. Again, you show up for others more than you show up for yourself. So the commitment to yourself is showing up. But then when you're in community with others and building, beautiful things happen. Like they get together on their own outside of the morning sessions just to write towards the book.
Yes, I absolutely love that. So, hey, Heather Byrd has a community. Is that one of the links?
That's 3M script. Yes.
Beautiful. You can join her community and write in community to get more work towards your book. If you're one of the people like, I ain't got no time for this mess, you can and you do. And so that's why her morning sessions are so imperative, because at the end of the day, it is helping you literally create that wonderful story of yours that can't nobody tell but you. I absolutely love that, Heather. And to write a community, I'm like, absolutely all day, every day.
Yeah.
So with this publishing company, you're going to be helping people publish their books. Like, where does that come in?
Yeah. So we work with people for the entire pipeline, right? So if folks come to us, they have an idea for a book. We work with them at the beginning stages of that. When we get to the publishing stage, we help to manage the self-publishing process for you. And so when you're writing your book, you need someone to edit. Once you have a manuscript, you need to format the inside of your book. You need book cover designs. You need marketing assets. You need to figure out what path you're going to take in terms of who you're going to use as your distributor. We help with that process so that you don't have to sit there and think through, well, what comes next? Or who do I contact? Or is this person trustworthy? Do I have to manage? We manage that process for you. So if you don't have the time and you're trying to get your book done, again, another answer to that is to have someone guide you through that process and help you manage the publishing process with you so that you have 100% creative control over what you're putting out into the world, and also not having to worry about every single little detail that comes along with it.
Yes, I'm obsessed. I'm like, yes, I'm so proud of you, girl. I'm like, so proud of you. But I do have a question. This is it's on subject, but then it's like, maybe not.
Yeah,
it's on subject.
Let's have some fun. What you got?
Bird's World. Where did you get the name from? I was sitting outside with my feet in the water the other day, and this beautiful hummingbird just was softly bouncing around the water, and it was so amazing. But what I was tripped out about with the hummingbird is its wings are moving so fast, but it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And it just blew my mind. And I was like, I wonder why Heather chose the hummingbirds. Of course, now I want to know.
So as you know, you mentioned earlier in like my introduction, I am big on building a world that we want to see ourselves in, even though it might not exist, right? So as you think about just on the surface level, Bird's world is the world that I've always wanted to see for the literary world, just in general, and helping folks get their stories out. But when you start talking about birds, the hummingbird is our logo, it's our signature bird, and you can think about hummingbirds in two different aspects. The bird itself, hummingbirds, like the actual bird, has a great significance. Birds in general are messengers. Specifically, hummingbirds are messengers. And as we're using our voice to tell our stories, we're serving as messengers to other people to help uplift and inspire and transform them in ways that are really, really beautiful, right? Hummingbirds also are the only birds that can stunt fly. So they're very unique in the way to where they can fly forwards, fly backwards, and side to side, right? Most birds can only fly forward. If you've seen a hummingbird, they go zoop, 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 zoop. Like they can move in whichever direction they desire. Their wings also move in a figure eight infinity sign, right? And so that's something else that is really great. So if you look up hummingbirds, you will learn so much about them. It's amazing. But if you also pay attention to humming, so just the concept of humming. Look at you, just did it, right? What did that just do for you when you just hummed?
Relax me.
Right? When you are happy, you hum.
Yes.
When you are in pain, we hum. Humming has healing qualities to it. Our stories have healing qualities to it. So, one of the things that we do in the morning writing space is we hum before we write to help settle ourselves, to help ground ourselves, right? So, it's like a trifecta of meaning behind Bird's World. So, that's just like a few snippets of why Birds World, but it goes so much deeper than that.
I absolutely love that. I love them snippets. I didn't even think about it. And then the figure eight, and oh my gosh, okay, you got me. You got me. No, I'm absolutely obsessed. I know that you have a retreat that you're also going to be doing for writers. Tell us
I
a little bit
am,
about this retreat.
you all. So this retreat came out of the morning writing sessions that we've been doing for 8 months. We had an impromptu get together a couple of months ago, and we just it was transformational and accidental. We just really wanted to get together and hang out. But we ended up talking about our work. We ended up talking about our lives, and we walked away so much fuller than what we did before. So while sitting out on the porch, we literally pulled out our phones and we're like, we have to do something like this on an official level. And so what we're doing from November 9th through the 12th is we are going to be having a writing retreat for women of color that is an intentional community full of self-liberation, authentic joy, with the goal of helping you write your book so that you have the guidance that you need in order to get your book done, right? So we will be in this beautiful home in Niles, Michigan. And while we are there, we will be able to relax, recharge, and really focus on writing. I don't know about you, but sometimes as you go throughout your day, you're being pulled in so many different directions that your mind doesn't have a chance to settle and be in the place that you need it to be in order to write. This is the space where we'll be able to do that, right? So it's immersive. You will have the expert guidance in the space. You will have community accountability, the opportunity to have like that personal growth over the course of those 3 days, and you'll be in community with like-minded writers. Everyone in that space will be working towards writing their book. So there's nothing like it.
That sounds absolutely phenomenal. So y'all tap in. If you're ready to write your book and you think a retreat is the perfect space to do it, that's what I think.
Yes.
I think you should tap in and go on over there because it's going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and slots
So,
are going by really fast. So we only at the time of this, we only have 6 slots left. So if you're interested,
matter of fact, let me put that thing up there again. Only 6 slots. So get in there. Get in there.
we have gone by just this week. So
Dang, girl. Yeah, get on in there.
yeah.
So, Heather, I am just absolutely in love with this conversation. I feel like getting more people out there to write their books is going to be phenomenal. It is definitely going to create a lot more wealth, assets, and prosperities for people's life and their business. So, I absolutely love what you do. What would be your closing remarks to the people today?
Mm. If you have ever thought about writing a book and someone told you that you couldn't, if someone told you that you couldn't spell or you're worried about not being able to spell, if you've ever sat in a space where you have compared yourself, if you have found yourself in spaces where you have made yourself smaller, um, and question whether or not you actually have a story to tell, I want to let you know that I see you and that you are not alone, and that there are so many others out there that are also feeling the same way. But what we have been able to do within the future author community is to rebuild your magic. We've been able to help folks find their voices. And each and every person that has gone through the program has shown up differently in their work life. They've shown up differently on the page. And ultimately, as that transfers over into your book, that book is going to help others be able to show up in whatever space that they're in a different way. So, if this is something that you are interested in, just even checking out, if you're like, I still don't know, Heather, I'm not sure, Bird, I don't know if this is for me, and you are a woman of color, I want to invite you to the 3M Script morning writing sessions, 7 days for free. Check it out. Come see the community, meet the women, talk to them. I promise you, your life will be transformed in 7 days. But in case they're not, you have the opportunity to find a space that is right for you. But you really have nothing to lose. If you have been wanting to do this for a really long time, if you've been wanting to make the transformation, this is definitely the space that you want to be. And you get to try it out for 7 days. So
Obsessed. Yes. Y'all better go on and try this out for
come
7 days.
on home, y'all.
Yes. Write that book. Write that book. Write that book. Well,
Yeah.
I just want to thank my girl, Heather Byrd, for
You.
bringing Bird's World to this world. And I just want to thank you, girl, for coming here and talking to us and just sharing your light. If you want to follow Heather on all social media, it is at Bluebird's World everywhere, right? Instagram,
Instagram,
Instagram. Are you
TikTok, and Facebook. Yeah.
and Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook? That's how you find it, y'all.
Yeah.
And join these morning pages. She says 7 days for free. You get to come in, write in community. Like she said, writing in community is such a powerful place to be. So I highly recommend that you do that. And if you are looking to get in on a retreat, you're like, well, writing in the community sounds good, but a retreat sounds better. Let me tell you, this is the place to be, okay? Get on there. She only got 6 spots left, y'all. 6 spots left. So you're going to want to snatch yours up as well. 3 were snatched up just this week. So stop playing, get in on that retreat.
Yeah.
But again, I appreciate you, Heather. Thank you for being the gift that you are. Writing with Heather is not just starting and writing the book, it is the full process, publishing and all. Yeah. Don't do it alone. Do it in community and do it with somebody who's going to hold your hand and make sure that you're nothing but successful.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Jacqui.
Yes, I love you. Thank you for being here, y'all. We love y'all, and we out.